Howdy folks, this is Michael Kreider for SlashGear.com, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Nokia Lumia 900 coming to AT&T next week. This is Nokia's first AT&T 4G LTE device, taking advantage of that nice LTE connection in cities that support it. And interestingly, it's coming at a very affordable price. It's listed at $99 with a 2-year contract, but brand new customers will be able to pick it up for free, nothing. So, without further ado, let's take a look at some of the hardware. This is a unibody, it's a single-piece case design that Nokia calls polycarbonate, which is a nice name for plastic. But it does have a very nice, interesting finish. It's got sort of a rubbery feel to it. It doesn't slip easily in your hand. On the top here, you've got your micro USB connector, which you'll be familiar with if you've seen any of the latest Android phones. Your standard headphone microphone jack. And here you've got a space for the SIM card. On the bottom, you have nothing but this rather large speaker display here. And let's see here. You can see that better. But it's surprisingly loud for a phone this size. And nothing on the left side over here. On the right, you've got all the basic controls. Even though none of them are labeled, you've got your volume up and down, power button in a rather odd place. I find it very, very odd to hit that with my thumb, because my thumb wants to rest on the volume buttons. But that's power, and then you've got a dedicated camera button, which I am a big fan of. So, let's take a look at some of the software. As far as the innards are concerned, you get a Qualcomm Scorpion 1.4 gigahertz processor that is single core, but it's plenty fast for what you're doing here. And as you can see, it's running Windows Phone 7, which Nokia decided over some other options. And this is the 7.5 aka Mango version. If you're not familiar with it, you can check out a lot of our previous posts on SlashGear to see all the new fun stuff. And obviously you're going to have a lot of Microsoft stuff here, since it is a Microsoft operating system. And you've got some AT&T editions as well, seen here in the orange. It doesn't come with a lot of preloaded Nokia software. I did download Nokia's Maps application. See if I can find it in the list here. There it is. That's Nokia Maps. And at any time you can take one of these and sort of pin it to your regular start menu and move it around as you like. And that's Windows Phone 7. It's a very beautiful, very simple operating system. Although if you're used to a more sort of icon-based interface, it takes a little bit of getting used to. It does have all of the fancy new features, including this interesting multitasking engine. And you can see the capacitive buttons down here. Now the screen is very nice. It's 4.5 inches. That's about as big as the Android phones get these days, or any phones get these days, without going into that really, really large, sort of somewhere between a tablet and a phone space. There are some bigger ones out there, but honestly this is about as big as I like to get. It is an AMOLED, an AMOLED screen, so it does have that really excellent color reproduction. You can see that the blacks just sort of blend into the case here. You can barely see the difference between the blacks and the bezel on the screen. At 4.5 inches, it does have a rather low resolution of 800 by 480. That's something we're more used to seeing in about a 3.7 inch size for standard smartphones, so that's a little bit disappointing. None of the Windows phones have just super high resolution. As far as size, we're going to compare it to my daily driver, the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. And you can see here they're pretty identical. The Nexus is just a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker with that extended battery. The battery on the Lumia 900 is, I believe it's 1,830 milliamps, and it still manages to fit in a very tight little case. On the back, you can see that we have a Carl Zeiss camera, or pardon me, a Carl Zeiss lens, which Nokia says is 2.2, it's got an f value of 2.2, and it is an 8 megapixel camera with a dual LED flash here. So we will be putting this phone through all of its paces. Inside the AT&T packaging, the packaging isn't much, so we didn't really bring it out for you here. We have a standard charger, although it does look kind of unique. Plugs into the wall there, and your basic data cable. And the only thing else in the box besides the documentation was this SIM key that you use to access the micro SIM card. And let's see if I can pop that out for you right now. And slide it out. And there's your SIM card. And interestingly, the phone still seems to work just fine without the card. Obviously, you're not going to be making any calls, but it doesn't go crazy like some of the other phones we've seen. And it just slides back in there. So, that's the Nokia Lumia 900, coming next week for AT&T for either $99.99, or if you're a brand new AT&T customer, $0. We'll have a review up very shortly. Thanks for watching. I'm Michael Kreider for SlashGear.